So before we had this database, I was really the only council staff member that knew the local history, that had the local history knowledge. So I know all the significant links between places, people and objects. I know when places were built, I know who built them, I know who lived there, I know who they were related to, but nobody else in council really did. All of our collections also were stored in several different locations. So museum objects were stored in the museum store, but we also had Heritage Society files, which were in the Heritage Room. We had photos, which were on our internal server. We had stuff all over the place. So we wanted a platform that would serve as like a one-stop heritage shop that was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was important for us not only to digitise and make the collection items that we hold online, but to also have a platform that enabled us to link all of these collection items together, the links that only I knew, and link all the items together based on the history and relevance to particularly the people and places significant in our city. We wanted a platform that really made it easier for our customers to find information without necessarily having to search for it and without having to specifically know what they were looking for. So with these things in mind, we set about coming up with a series of main collections that we thought would be user-friendly for our customers. So we came up with, at first when we launched it, we had these 10 collections. So the First Nations collection was really important for us to establish, and I'll come back to that later. We separated our maps and plans. We had photos, documents. These are all our museum objects. We also had the council archives, which are all the rate books, valuation books, building registers. We had a selection of digital stories that we wanted to promote, but we also thought that in order to make this information relevant, we really needed to create biographies on the families and the people and the places that were significant in Shellharbour so that we could create all of these links and make searching much easier for our customers. I have added another 5 collections here down the bottom just to make it a bit easier for people to use. So we've added a link to our podcasts. These 2 are feature collections that we just use to highlight significant events in the city or places or people. This is the Heritage Society archives, and we've recently just added the jigsaw puzzle component of Recollect to, I think we've got about 12 puzzles up there. I just wanted to show you, I'll come back to First Nations in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you some of the examples of how we've tried to create as many links on our site as possible. Individual, this is a people bio. This is Henrietta Bush, who built the Ocean Beach Hotel, and same case. We scroll down, we've got links to all the photos of the hotel, all of the objects in the museum collection which relate to Henrietta Bush, all the Ocean Beach Hotel, links to places, links to, we've actually developed a jigsaw of the Ocean Beach Hotel, an online jigsaw, links to documents, that was the hotel licensee document, links to families that relate to the Bush family. We've actually developed a collection around that because we've got so many items in the Cullen collection. Just to try and make it as easy for our customers to find information as possible. Here is one on Clover Hill. So this is a place. We've done a biography of this farm and linked again to all the photographs relating to the people and the farm who lived there, people who live there, all the objects in the collection that relate to Clover Hill, including some lovely little christening dresses, people who farmed at Clover Hill. We've got a short digital story that relates to Ben Turner, who farmed there, links to families who farmed there, again and again. You could go on and create as many links as possible, and we certainly haven't exhausted all of the links. There's certainly more we could do, but it's very easy to add them as you think of them. So we just want to add as much information as possible so that our customers can search for things easily, both internal and external. And I would like to say that, a lot of people in the beginning had hesitations about us digitising so much content and putting so much of our information online because they thought that people wouldn't necessarily need to come into the museum anymore or need to use our service. If it's all online, what are people going to use you for? But can I just say, we have found that has been the complete opposite. We've never had more information requests than we're getting at the moment. And I would also say that having so much of our city's history and our cultural collections online it's really increased our opportunity and capacity for acquiring collections. And I'll take you now to this screen. This is a postcard that we received from a man who lives in Nova Scotia. So he found a series of postcards of Benjamin Horace Turner, who was a Shellharbour resident, but originally was born in London, and he was a parachute stunt jumper, and he came over here and made parachutes for the Second World War. Then he designed scamp swimsuits in the 1950s. He lived at Clover Hill. Anyway, this man in Nova Scotia his mother had just passed away and he was going through all of her documents and he found all of these photos of this man and thought, my goodness, who is this? And he did a quick Google search, came across our site where we had a bio on Ben Turner, and he contacted us through Recollect. And in the end, he donated all of these fantastic postcards of Ben Turner. Photos, we hadn't seen a photo of him in his youth before. We'd had plenty of photos of him later in life when he lived in Shellharbour, but none of him in his little parachute gear there. And he's actually signed the postcards as well. So, you know, these are things that if we didn't have this information online about this gentleman, these things would never have been donated, because the man in Nova Scotia would never have known who he was and never have known where to post these items to. So, and, you know, we've got, there's 100 different examples of that. It's also increased our capacity to share our collections to other organisations. Like we've been contacted by Australia Post, who've wanted to use 2 of the items on our database as part of the design of new postage stamps. So, you know, without getting all your content online, these things just wouldn't be possible. So we really wanted to create a First Nations collection. And we're really lucky here at Shellharbour City Council in that we have an Aboriginal community liaison group, a committee who is actually the oldest committee in New South Wales and the longest serving committee in New South Wales, continuously serving. So they're a really great progressive bunch of people who are proud of their Dharawal heritage and really want to promote it to the community. They're really proud of their cultural heritage, and so they should be. So in order for us to do that, we at Shellharbour City Museum hold the collection. So we just consider ourselves as the custodians of the collection, but really the AAC, Aboriginal Working Party, is what we call them. They're really the managers of the collection. So everything that we do in terms of Dharawal cultural heritage has to go through our AAC. So what I did was I set up the collection as it would look if it went live to members of the public. So, and then I just took them through every stage of the collection. So I attended one of their meetings. I talked to them for about half an hour. I showed them this, exactly what I'm showing you now. I took them through links to all the documents that we were going to link to. So I didn't just want objects in the First Nations collection, and I didn't just want to feature, you know, maybe half a dozen objects. I didn't want it to feel like a thin collection, because our collection is quite significant. I wanted to add documents. I wanted to add bios on families. I wanted to add a bio on the AAC committee itself. And I wanted to take really good photos of the collection items as well. So we came up with a collection of like significant documents that relate to cultural salvage sites, archaeological stuff, Dharawal, the seasons, local history publications that are available. We linked again to lots of the photographs. These photographs that are blank are the ones that are not available for viewing to the public. You can only see that because I'm logged in at the moment. Then we've got links to the objects in our collection. So these little shoes I'll show you in a minute. Really great photos, links to maps and plans that show locations of original camps and reserves, links to artwork that have been done by Dharawal members of the community, links to bios on individuals, links to significant events, particularly council events that are undertaken throughout the year. We've got a short video on knowledge of country that was developed by 2 local ladies through council, links to families, links to places of significance, localities, specific collections, organisations, that's our Aboriginal Advisory Committee, a bio on them, links to industries, language. This collection will grow in the future, and in fact I've got a whole series of artefacts that I want to add to this collection, but that will require me to go back to the AAC and present to them. I'll just show you these little shoes. These are beautiful little shoes. They're actually made out of playing cards you can see in there, and shells, little booties made by Auntie Marie Stewart. These are part of the collection, and the photographs that we'll took are just fantastic. So if I zoom in, you can see right the detail, all the little shells. Yeah, it's important for us that our customers are able to use the site with as much efficiency as possible. And it's helped me because when I get information requests now, for the most part, I can direct them to the site. That helps people largely, especially internally. But we've just had great feedback from the community as well, and especially local journalists who are looking for stories on local history. They just give positive feedback all the time and say it's fantastic. There's so much information on the history of your city. And, you know, we are adding to it all the time. It will be a never-ending job. But yeah, we think we've made a good start with it anyway. And this platform, Recollect, just really sort of suited all of our needs for the different types of collections that we had, putting them all together on one platform. So our experience has been very successful.
Thank you so much, Tamara.